What's going on, everybody? MSD here, back with another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. I'm really excited. Today, finally, the Titania embargo lifted, and I'm really a fan of this character. I want to make it clear from the get-go, however, this character will be for some, not for all. I'm a huge fan for playstyle. I love its pseudo-aggressiveness. And what I mean by pseudo-aggressive is you have to be aggressive, but if you're too aggressive, things are going to go poorly. So you have to be aggressive to an extent. So it's like a fake aggressive playstyle, because there is a level of aggression that is necessary to maintain her rhythm, but if you're too aggressive, it goes away. So maybe pseudo is not the proper word. Maybe like partial aggression, or a semi-aggressive playstyle is a better way of describing her loop. But yeah, Titania, really solid character in my opinion. I think she's super fun to play. I don't exactly know where she's gonna fit into the 2022 meta, and the meta of the game going forward for stuff like war, story content, AQ, things of that nature, battlegrounds, Eternity Pain stuff. I think she's gonna be a fine defender and a fine attacker, but there's gonna be some people out there, and I would like to think I'm one of them, at least right now. I've only played her for roughly a day, that, if they utilize her abilities properly, they're just going to absolutely steamroll stuff. So that was a nice, quick, Realm Wolverine fight, but let's talk about a rotation a little bit. So personally, I think this is the ideal rotation to maintain all of your damage, all of your debuffs. Use a special 1 to get the elongated debuff duration, use a special 2 to get the physical vulnerability, and remember to end on light attacks. I'll probably add it in a little text box somewhere, but end on light attacks to refresh the physical vulnerability, and then keep using the special 1 to reapply the debuff duration extender, and that's really it. I found that the special 3 is fine for like really short fights, but it never seems necessary, given that for the most part the damage from the special 3 is going to fall off really fast if you're not running synergies. So it doesn't make sense to go for the special 3 in most situations. What really makes sense is the special 1, special 2, and then infinitely repeat the special 1 until the fight's over. Now if you happen to get to another special 2, it's fine, it doesn't really matter, just loop back to a special 1 after it. Once you're ramped up with Titania, it's very hard for your debuffs to fall off, and by debuffs I mean your physical vulnerability, which is going to increase your damage, and then you're applying so many debuffs and getting those passive furies, so you're going to easily maintain at least 20 with a chance of maintaining higher, depending on synergies, or if you're fighting a large or extra large character and you are awakened. Let's talk about our Sig Ability a little bit. I do think it's pretty necessary for a lot of situations. The double debuffs on application can really help your damage just go higher and higher. She definitely has a consistent limit with damage, like she's not going to be hitting 25k mediums or 100k specials, but she's definitely going to be hitting 10 or 11k mediums, 6 or 7k lights, and 60 to 55k special 2s or special 1s very regularly, because it's super easy to reapply debuffs and regain your furies even after they've fallen off, and the Sig Ability plus synergies helps that a lot. So that fight was no synergies at all, just Titania, and you'll see in the next fight, the exact same fight with synergies. They help a little bit, but there isn't as much of a difference with them in comparison to without them. The only difference you'll really notice is with the champion synergy, where intercepts can pause the duration of your furies. That really helps in longer form content, but ideally you don't want to use Titania in longer form content. She's more of a moderate to higher-ish level health pool clearing champion. She's not going to be very good for Labyrinth or Abyss stuff, even though the final clip of this video is a Labyrinth Old Man Logan solo. She's not going to be really solid for that type of content. Act 7 and presumably Act 8 level health pools, I think she's really going to shine there, and of course Realm is a very good example of a testing ground for those level health pools. She's a really solid character. I'll say this again, I just think she's super fun, and skilled players are really going to have a blast with her, especially utilizing those haymakers. As you saw right there, I did a full combo into his block, and Titania's debuffs apply on block. And whenever you apply a debuff, you reduce the cooldown of haymakers. So if you have a haymaker ready, you can just throw a second medium into their block, and you're unblockable, unstoppable, and indestructible. Right there, I just took Hulk's special 2 to the face, no damage. No damage. Finished with a 20k crit on the special 2. Very, very solid. The difference in time was 10 or so seconds. The difference in hits was roughly the same, but that just goes to show that she really doesn't need synergies, but she extremely benefits, or she has an extreme benefit, should I say, with the champion synergy in these longer form fights. Now, I think it is going to be very useful in, like I said, the Act 7, Act 8 level health pools. If you were to bring any synergy, it would either be that one or the She-Hulk synergy. The She-Hulk synergy lets her start with 10 passive Furies and increases Fury duration by 25%. That, of course, increases if you're fighting a large or extra large champion. So that's another really solid synergy, but it's not as necessary as I would say the champion synergy is for certain types of content. I'd say the champion synergy is a lot more impactful for Titania as a whole, just because it allows you to maintain those Furies. Instead of having a longer duration, you're pausing them on intercepts. So fighting an aggressive AI, you're going to be able to maintain those Furies for a longer amount of time, basically netting you the same results that the She-Hulk synergy would provide if you were fighting a less aggressive AI. So, yeah, that's my non-script, completely freestyle review of Titania. I think she's really fun. I would love to pick this character up. I'm not going to be hunting her like I would Quicksilver or I did Cosmic Ghost Rider or Apocalypse, but I would really like to pick her up today out of the early access offers. At least a 5-star. It'd be really fun to mess around with. And yeah, one more thing before I go and let the video play out. Haymakers, they are justifiably powerful. And the reason I say justifiably powerful is because the cooldown is a very solid, it's a very solid exchange for what the Haymakers can provide. So Haymakers trigger on a medium dash, a second medium, or activation of a heavy attack. And you get an indestructible, unstoppable, and unblockable passive for 4 seconds. Now, the champion synergy, this is another really big pro of the champion synergy. Landing an intercept will not only pause the Furies, but reduce Haymaker cooldown by 5 seconds. So against an aggressive AI, you're really going to see the benefit of that champion synergy. But at the end of the day, if your Titania is awakened in relatively high Sig, you're going to be able to loop Haymakers roughly every 15 seconds, and you know, the burst damage from Haymakers is really nice, but what they really do is they provide you with a safety net during intercepts and access to a lot of block break and you know, damage prevention. So you can do a full 5 combo into the opponent's block, and if you have a Haymaker ready, do a second medium, and congratulations, you've broken the block. You now have 4 seconds of pretty much invulnerability unless you get stunned. That's her big weakness in Haymakers. She has no prevention, reduction, or immunity to stun at all. So unless you're running Limber, if you get stunned during Haymakers, there's a chance that you will take some damage. But a good thing about Titania is each of her special hits applies a weakness, and it's a 5% weakness that stacks. So even if you do get hit, especially if you're running Inequity, you're most likely not going to take that much damage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. One more thing, she's buff immune. She has some physical resistance on base, so that's really cool. Yeah, that's Titania, guys. She encourages getting hit because of the Haymakers, allows you to get easy openings, and she's just a really good time. So thank you all so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Take care.